Alright everyone, we're back for one more deck tech for this week till the next locals. Last week I played, and I have the other first and second place videos posted. I got third with Hiru. This is the deck I've played multiple times. Um, so basically I've played, this would be the fourth locals I've played it at. And I've had a lot of success with it. The first two locals I played, I went 5-0 each. The second one I went 4-0, so that's 14 games and no losses. But the last locals I went to, I went 3-1. So overall, through the course of all those games, this deck has actually performed pretty well for me, and it's a blue-yellow Hiru. There's a lot of people probably already seen lists very similar to this, so I'm just going to try to make it real quick. So Hiru is just a great blue leader, possibly the best blue leader. He's able to see a lot of cards, which is really important. So you're allowed to see the pieces that you need to make this deck go off. Basically, when he attacks a leader card, but he has to attack a leader card for you to be able to do it, you drop a card from your hand. It has to be a battle card, and then you get to draw two cards. It's Awakens at 4, and Awakens it stands back 2 energy. Now, the thing that gets fun with this card, and especially this style of deck, is you want to try to stave off your Awaken until turn 4 if possible, which I was able to do almost every single matchup. And basically, on the flip side, when this card attacks, you get to draw a card. Then, if you have 4 more energy, that's why you want to wait till turn 4. Your opponent chooses one card from their hand and places it on top of their deck. So it just kind of starts eating at their hand slowly by slowly. First card is Beerus, the Fickle God. Is that a 4 of? You generally want to see this card or another of your multicolor cards turn 1. Altogether, I play a total of 9 multicolor cards, so your ability to actually hit one on turn 1 is actually pretty high. You don't want to run anything lower than 8 if you're playing a card like this. I just played 9 just to make sure for sure I was able to get something in my opening hand. Beyond that, sometimes you can just play him as 2, draw a card, and attack. And the reason why it's important is because if you have a multicolored card down, then when you play another one in your energy area, if it's this card, the Beerus, you get to negate the energy exhaust skill. So it just comes into play untapped. Also played Bojack, Resident Agent of Destruction. This card, more times than not, was just combo power and energy. A lot of times on turn 1. It does have a key ability right here, is that it is blocker, which is good, and its arrival is only a 1 cost yellow. And when you arrival, you get to choose the top card of your opponent's library, and basically you get to mill it. So a lot of times with this deck, you're putting cards on top of your opponent's library, and then he can come in and mill it. So that's just a little thing that you can do. I played one of these. I was just testing it out. Overall, I don't like it that much because the arrival is a blue and a yellow. It's Sunku and Vegeta Saiyan Bonds, but it is still pretty good because what it does is it draws you a card when it comes into play, and also you get to negate the skills of one of your opponent's battle cards. So sometimes it's used pretty defensively because you can arrival it in. If they're swinging with like a double striker or a triple striker or something, you can negate that skill and draw a card, and it just comes into play and able to swing down battle cards on the following turn. Part that makes the deck tick is it's the Hidden Darkness Minutia. You have 4 of these because you need to see one of these in your drop to go up your hero chain. It's very important to see one of these. And a lot of times you're just playing this as energy, or you're pitching it to this to get this card into your drop. And when you pitch this card into your drop, it allows you to search your deck first, which I'll show you, for these. And basically it allows your Hiru essentially on the front side to draw 3, because you're going to put this one to your hand when the Minutia goes into your drop, and then after that you get to draw 2. So essentially it's allowing you to draw 3 cards when it swings. as long as this is the battle card you're discarding. And this is the one you want in your drop anyways. A lot of times this card, after you got it to your hand, was either just for combo power or um, uh, energy. The other card is Oath's Power Tapion. This card's really good. You want to get one in your drop, so you can either combo with it early in the game to make sure your life stays high so you can awaken on turn 4, or you can discard it with your leader again, basically to get it in the drop and draw 2. And sometimes its ability's pretty important because it allows you to, if you're sitting at 5 life on turn 4, a lot of times you can play this card if you need to, just to get down, and it puts a card on top of, a battle card on top of their library. So a lot of times this is also eating at their hand and putting it on top of the deck. There's more effects that do that too, as you'll see as I go through. My counterplay package, well, there's more than these, but I'll show you the first 6. This is why it's important to charge a multicolored energy on your first turn, because it makes these cost 2 instead of the 3, and that's what you're kind of wanting to do on your second turn is a counterplay. This is for some of the early cards, and this is for some of the more annoying cards that will come later that have a barrier, and it allows you, Champa allows you to put them in the rest mode, ignoring barrier, and then it also allows you to draw a card. So that's, Champa is for like the big mean guys that are really hard to deal with, and just puts them in rest so they really can't do anything that turn. Now the Gohan is a little different, because it has to be an energy cost of 4 or less, and it doesn't ignore barrier, but that's why this is good to stave off some early aggression, or even some middle of the game aggression if it's a 4 drop, and if it doesn't have barrier, you can bring it, basically it goes right back to their hand. And then if you do, you can choose one of your blue energy and switch it to active mode, so it keeps energy up, able for defense. And then like any of the blue yellow cards you can choose as well. The next card is Ultra Instinct Son Goku. This card is just really good. It's a counterplay and counterattack. And basically when you play it, its skills can't be negated, so when you do play it, it's going to do its thing unless it gets Cold Bloodlusted, because they had a new ruling with the Cold Bloodlust can now hit this permanent. So that's why you can Cold Blast a Victory Strike now. Same thing, Cold Blast will deal with this card, or like a Frost Deadly Poison. But beyond that, its skills won't be negated. And what this does is, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and return it to their hand, ignoring barrier, and then you get to draw a card. So it doesn't matter, energy cost or not. If you play this, it's returning that card to their hand, and this can just like stop blowouts when people are trying to blow you out with different cards, Gogeta 7, but just any big boss monsters that have barrier. Going up the Hiru chain, this card is really important, so it's at a 4 of. Basically, what happens when you get a Minoshi and a Tapion in your drop, you get to just play this for free. Now, the important thing to remember is that a lot of the meta now is playing counterplays on turn 2. But the good thing is, with him being a 7 drop, a lot of the counterplays won't hit him as well. So they have to have certain counterplays to be able to deal with them, which is kind of a good advantage. The other thing is, if you're on the play and you get to turn 2 and you can just get this guy out turn 2 to sneak under counterplays, I just recommend just trying to do that, because you're just going to want to get this guy out. Because the next thing is the card advantage machine. This card right here, if you can establish this, it has barrier. If you establish 1, it's really rough for your opponent to do anything. And if you can get 2 on the board, which I did in some matches, it's just lights out. It's just hard to beat the grind with this card, because it has barrier, it's hard to remove. And basically when it comes into play, you get to pick one of your opponent's battle cards, and you get to choose a card from their hand. You don't get to see their hand, but you get to pick it out at random. So a lot of times that hurts. The other thing is, on your opponent's turn, what you can do, you can negate a leader swing, but you can negate a battle card swing. And to do that, basically, all you have to do is you remove a card from your hand from the game, and you send him to the warp, and that negates the attack. Now, the thing is, at the start of your next main phase, it comes back. So when it comes back, it gets to do the battle card and the card from hand again, and then it just sits there ready to negate on the next turn. So over time, especially after your leader's flipped, basically you're just going to start burying your opponent and just start gaining like huge card advantage, and there's not much they can do. The other reason why you wait to your turn 4 to awaken is because you're trying to generally play this on turn 4. And since you have to tap out to play it, you place this evolve on top of him on turn 4, and then you awaken that turn, flip back your 2 energy, so now you have 2 energy up, and all during the same turn, you'll be eating a card from their hand on top of their deck, from their battlefield on top of their deck, and then when you swing with your leader, you'll be able to put another card. And then if you have any Fan and Flame cannons, you can just stack more if you want. Super combo, it's pretty straightforward. If you're playing Hiru, you're running the super combo just because it allows you to see more cards. And seeing more cards is very important. One problem this deck has, it doesn't close out games super fast. So I did add one for the Instruction Champa. It's just one. It added a double strike to one of your boss monsters or just when you're trying to close a game. This is another closer. It's just at a 1 of. It's Food the Dark Banisher. It will close the game really quick because throughout the game, you're just putting cards on top of your opponent's library. So when you do slam this down, a lot of times it's either like turn 5 or turn 6 after you establish your big Hiru and have put multiple cards on top of their deck. Once you play this, you're going to be down to not many cards in their hand. So if they actually want to deal with this, they're going to have to just start dropping cards. And it swings 3 times. So a lot of times this can just close out a game. Phantom Flame Cannon is really good. It's Activate Battle, which is very relevant as Activate Main. It would not be nearly as good. But what it does, it gives your leader an additional 10k. And you get to choose one card at random from your opponent's hand and put it on top of their deck. So a lot of times when you're using any of the effects where they have to put cards on top of their deck, and you can do 1 or 2 of these. Some turns I would be able to do 2 of these, and you're just, once again, just stacking so many cards on top of their deck, it's hard for them to get back. Last card is, since we're in blue, we do run negates, and it's Dimension Magic. Just if you're running blue, this is pretty much the negate you're wanting to be using. You can use other negates, but I would always suggest you use 4 of these, and then if you're going to use other gates, might be a couple of another, such as Mufuba, or there's the new blue one, I forgot what the name of it is, but is the one you can play and then play from your drop. As far as the deck goes, that's it. Any substitutions I would make, like if you don't have the Ultra Instinct Son Gokus, or any of the new cards from the draft box, because I had 2 Ultra Instinct Son Gokus, and I had one of these. So you can always I would suggest you can sub out the Ultra Instinct Son Goku and the 2 new cards in the draft box with, you can add another Champa, a Mufuba, a Frost Deadly Poison, or just any combination of both. That's only 49 cards in the deck. I think I left out a card that I was playing. I wonder if how I missed over that. Because I do believe I must have left it somewhere. The deck does run 1 Frost Deadly Poison in the main deck, and I must have left it in my deck box, because I was looking through, I realized I didn't say that I was running that card. But beyond this, the deck's really good. Just my matchups really, really quick. Round 1 I played against Combo Gohan, Combo Trunks. That was my loss. I lost to that. Then after that, I just won 3 more just through grinding them out, basically. After that, I beat, I can't remember which order, but I played against a Mono Blue Oob deck, World Tournament deck with all the good cards from the, what are they, the Power Boosters. He just couldn't get past my defenses, and I buried him card advantage. I played against Broly, HOM Victory Strike. I was lucky to win that matchup because he actually got Victory Strike out, and I actually was in a position where he could not combo up his Victory Strike because I got to be able to put enough cards on top of his deck. So when he did swing his Victory Strike, I was able to run or 2 super combos, just out combo it, and then kill him on the crackback. Last round I played against Namekians. It's Michael. He's been on the channel before as Namekians deck. And this deck does give his Namekian deck a lot of trouble. It always has every time we played. So, but that's it. So thanks for watching. I'll be posting more videos after our locals this Saturday. And once again, thanks for watching. Goodbye.